My name is Nikita from Cars Off the Wall.
My name is Serena from Cars Off the Wall.
Isn't she beautiful? We're here, we're gonna make a video, we're gonna drive, and we're gonna talk about our New Year goals for the business, Cars Off the Wall dealership. Not only that, we're gonna talk about 2024, things that happened, big events that really propelled the business or stunted the business. And my wife knows all about what we went through. She was in it from day one. I mean, she's the reason I started the dealership. She really inspired me to get that license and really do it the proper way and not just be some flipper, title hopper, title flipper. You know how that goes. And Happy New Year to all of you. I hope you guys are creating goals and plans and strategies to further your dealership. I know most of you who are watching are flipping cars for a profit, just like my wife and I. And it's great that this community can share and inspire each other. Hopefully you get something out of our videos, if anything at all, entertainment. But more so, I'd like to really share with you guys what happened in 2024 that really helped the business, and why my wife and I are excited for 2025, and what our goals and strategies and plans are for this year. Okay, 2024 started out really simple. I had two mechanics, a father-son duo. I hired them to do all the labor and all the work to fix the cars. My wife and I were not making money at that time. We were basically, all of our profits were being given to the mechanics to work. And so while everyone had a job and we were all living, the business wasn't making a profit, and it was really hard to justify continuing to hire them for every single job. So for about a month, I started kind of working on my own and giving them projects. And then after that month, my wife and I realized perhaps I can start doing it all on my own for now, see if we can get some savings in the business, and then maybe we can reevaluate and work with them again in the future if we are at that level yet.
Also, his friend told him that, why you don't fix by yourself?
Another dealership said, hey, 40-50% of your profits or more, in our case, like almost 80% of our profits was going into paying for their labor. And it was working if we sold 10 cars a month. But if we sold 3 or 4 cars, it didn't really work for my wife and I. So one of my friends that also has a dealership, private dealership, told me, why don't you try doing the labor yourself and seeing how that goes? Perhaps you can keep more money and you can grow the business. And when you're ready, then you can hire some mechanics to do some work. So that was our biggest event that happened in 2024.
It wasn't big enough to pay them.
That's
why you stopped it.
Yeah, my wife and I weren't making enough money to justify paying the mechanics. And so unfortunately, I had to separate for a little bit, and it was hard, and I didn't want to. I wanted to continue hiring them out, and they wanted to continue working with us, but if the business isn't making money, if we're losing money, then we all fail. So they're doing really well. They still have their own shop. They're still at the warehouse paying the rent all by themselves, and they are making money, and it's working for them.
Yeah.
And it's working for my wife and I too. So I think it was a good decision that we were able to separate and figure out how to work and kind of save money for both parties.
But still, we have a relationship with them too.
Mm-hmm. One of the biggest ways to cut expenses and keep profits is by doing the labor yourself. That's the biggest thing my wife and I learned in 2024, and that is the number one reason our business took off. January of 2024, we had $4 in our bank account. The business. Our personal account, like, that's separate, right? But the business only had $4 freaking in the bank account. And so we separated with the mechanics in April, and May is when I started doing all the labor myself. So we were just making it by for 4 months. And in May, that's when it took off. We started getting real profits at the end of the month. My wife and I were able to buy tickets to go to Japan for a month. We had a big celebration in Japan.
We had a wedding.
Yeah, our second wedding party. Even though we're already married, we wanted to have a wedding party in Japan for her family.
Look at that. I just wanted to show you.
We also were able to move to a bigger city closer to the auction. So our rent went from $1,200 a month at the little house that we had with a big backyard to park cars in. It was a great little setup. But we are now paying $2,600 a month, and pretty much more than double. And we've got a driveway, a garage, and a bigger house, and we are making more money. So in 2024, we upgraded, and we were able to upgrade because we listened to wiser people than us. We took the advice of people who have been in the game longer and who have more experience than my wife and I. Not only that, but I worked hard by myself and my wife on the cars we had, and we were able to really save up money. I think that's all I really want to share for 2024. There's a lot of stories and there's a lot of things I could talk about that might give you inspiration or you're able to learn from my mistake. But the main point I wanted to share was if you do the labor yourself, you are significantly saving profits, keeping profits in your pocket for the business. And you're also gaining experience how to do the work yourself as well. That's a very valuable skill that you will be able to keep until you're retired, or even after. When you're retired, you can continue flipping cars because you know how to work on them. It's a big deal. It's a great skill to have. I want to talk about the end of 2024, and my wife and I are ecstatic. We are really praising the Lord. At the end of 2024, we reached our goal of having this much in the bank account. And not only that, but we had 10 to 15% more. So you can imagine my wife and I, we were really like confused in a good way. Wow, we not only did we pay for a vacation in Japan and a wedding party, move to a bigger city where cost of living is practically double, buying more expensive cars, but we were able to make enough money to put in the bank for a savings for the business. And on top of that, have 15% more. We feel very blessed. All that to say, my wife and I are excited that we get to continue doing this in 2025. Remember, the business is only a year old, maybe a year and a half. Only a year old. Like, we just started. We haven't been doing this for 10 years.
2023 June, around June, you started.
Right, June 2023 is when I got licensed, but January 2024 is when we kind of were like, we were in the game. Like, we were really flipping cars every month, all month. Hopefully you guys met your goals as well. You were able to attain those goals, and hopefully you're able to see the bigger picture, the eternal picture, and what that means for you and your families.
Also, we are gonna move out soon.
That's right. That's right. So 2025, we're excited because my wife and I found a really good home that is a little bigger, so we have more space, but then it has a 2-car garage, and it has a driveway that can fit 8 cars, and then it has a lower driveway that can fit another 8 cars if we needed to. But overall, I think we can have, instead of the normal 5 cars that we can have on our driveway right now, in February we're going to move and we're going to be able to hold 10 cars. So we're practically getting a space that's double the size. And we're really excited for 2025 because we already signed the lease for the home, continue to save money, and get to the point where we can start hiring a part-time worker. And even if we don't hire a part-time worker, somehow get equipment or get tools or learn a different strategy that allows us to sell cars quicker and fix them quicker. And instead of selling 5 to 8 cars a month, now we're selling 8 to 10 cars a month and just growing that way. That's our 2025 goal. Know that I'm also rooting for you. My wife and I are very interested in the other YouTubers who are flipping cars for a living. And even if you don't have a YouTube channel, but you are flipping cars or have your own dealership, I'm hoping that you also have goals and plans and strategies that will help you grow to that next level for 2025. It's fun. Business is really fun, especially when you have it's your own thing, right? 100%. My wife and I get to keep the money from the business. We don't share it with anyone. And while it's good to have partners, there is something about owning your own company 100%. I did want to share with you the numbers for 2024. My wife and I, we won't share how much we made, and we're not going to share our expenses or anything like that. But the business gross revenue, okay, it's more than this number. But just so you guys kind of know, we're at about $220,000 gross revenue. Now, that doesn't take into consideration paying for the cars itself, right? So cars themselves are going to be, maybe 50% of that $220,000. So really, my wife and I probably made closer to about $110,000 for 2024. And that doesn't take into consideration our expenses, our personal, like rent and all of that. So you can imagine we're not making a lot of money, really. But I want you to know that the car dealership, a private dealership selling about 5 to 8 cars a month, you can, if you are able to get consistent numbers, that's about what my wife and I are able to do, and probably you could do as well. When you're starting a business from scratch,
It's hard to take day off.
it's hard to take a day off. If you really want it to grow and become successful and be a livable wage for a family, it's hard to take a day off unless you're making good money. If you're making good money, great for you. But my wife and I, again, $4 in the bank account in January, that kind of tells you that we had to work hard if we wanted to continue. We couldn't stop, especially in January. It was all day, every day. I think that's all we wanted to share. We just wanted to make a video sharing about big event in 2024, end of the year profits for 2024, and then our goals and desire for 2025, and the upgrade, right? We're upgrading a home. Now we can have more cars in our property. It's in a safer location.
Yeah.
We're excited.